Yeah. I want to welcome y'all to the Arthur J and Torrie TV podcast. Let's get it. Just sit back and let it breathe. We coming with more heat. You only get one shot. You shady or maybe not. You capping, we laughing. We on a mission. Now listen, we making statements and stating some of opinions and some of fact. So sit back and just relax. All the bull don't get no slack. We bringing it back to back with a swag and a class act. It's levels to this, and the truth will show who your friends are. That hate you won't get far. So be great. Let's debate. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm Arthur J.
And I'm Torrie Sadell.
And we back with another episode. We want to welcome y'all to the Arthur J and Torrie TV podcast. We just want to thank y'all for tuning in. We hope y'all enjoy, man. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
Parents taking things out on kids because of their disagreements. We just want to give y'all our thoughts. Man, I'm going to start off right on this. I usually tie you right in on that, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to talk about how it destroys kids, you know. Me being a father, I realize as I get older and I mature, is that your emotions or your disagreements or your discernment or whatever your feelings is towards that other individual or that other parent, it destroys kids in many different ways. Let's start with the mental. Here it is. A child may feel like I have to choose sides. And you may not be telling the child to choose sides, but the child feel like I got to choose sides. You know, I got to choose sides of either the mama or the daddy. And that putting the child in so much of a stressful situation where now they got to go to school with that on their brain. Now they got to go through life just thinking about how mama and daddy is taking things out on me because they have a disagreement, or they making me feel like it's my fault, or they throwing they anger towards each other. They putting it all on me. I want to tie you right in on that, man, because the question I have for you is, what are some of the ways that you think, you know, that destroys kids when parents take things out on kids?
I mean, they could, like you said, it could be a mental thing. Like, dang, say a kid is innocent in anything that's going on with the parents most of the time. Like disagreements, they're innocent. So at the same time, you don't want the kid to have this notion as, oh, every time they argue, I know it's going to come back to me. Some kind of way it's going to come back and fall on me. You know what I'm saying? And that's no way for a kid to have to live their life. You mad at my mom, so now you want to punish on me, or I have to feel like, oh, I can't be around my mom too much, or I can't be around my dad too much because it's going to make the other feel some kind of way. But again, on the first thing, that's why it's so hard, and I keep preaching this, even though I wish I had the opportunity to redo some things. It's important who you have kids with. Don't bring these kids in the world.
You gotta let that breathe moment. Say that again.
Don't bring these kids in the world if you're not planning on being with the parent, because you just don't understand what that is doing to a kid to make them feel like they have to choose. You know what I'm saying? So
yes, sir.
I just feel like you're correcting. They're sponges. They're looking at this, and not only that, they might feel like identifying punishment with when the parents come in argument or disagreement. They learn how to handle that and come up and probably have a better chance of repeating these same bad cycles as you doing. You know what I'm saying? Because they're a sponge. You're the parent. They're looking at you. Oh, this is how you handle that, or this is how you handle that. So I'm gonna treat this dysfunction when I have kids when I grow up. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, man. Before we move on to the next point, I just thought it was just so stunning to me. I'll say it like that, because when you brought this conversation to me, and I started to think, because I was like, okay, I've gone through the experience of me and the mother not seeing eye to eye, and probably would be like that tomorrow, probably would be like that next year. But to take it out on kids is a whole different level of where people mind at when you do that. Because it's one thing for the kids to see y'all not getting along. That's already tough on the kid as it is.
Yeah.
But then when you taking it out on kids, this is a conversation that I don't normally hear people talk about. That's why I don't mean to pat ourselves on the back, but I love us so much because I love that we touch on things that you don't normally hear. Because I never, when you brought that to my attention, I was like, it really made me think. I had to really think for like 30 minutes on this episode, because I'm like, man, this is deep here, because you see baby mamas, baby daddies don't get along all day long. That's all the time.
Okay.
But then when you hear that, man, there are situations that they take it out on kids. I'm like, what?
And we both done had, things we wasn't so proud of the other parent. But guess what we did? We didn't go to the child with that. We went to the parent and said, hey, man, I don't know what's going on, but say your child is acting different with one parent than the other. Why is the behavior going on? I ain't addressing her like that. I'm addressing you. What's going on? Because she don't act like this with me. You know what I'm saying? Those things. So, it's all
or if I have an issue with you, it's only the issue with you. It's just like if my child do something, I'm not going to take it out on you because of what my child did that had nothing to do with you. So why would I take it out on my child?
She didn't ask to even be here. Or he didn't ask to be here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You got to take whatever your issue is with anybody in life, whether it's your child or whether it is with your baby mama or baby daddy or significant other, it should be addressed to that individual. And that's where working it out or working on it the best way you can come in hand. But don't to take it out on anybody. That's
you
just
have to package
that's just life
that.
situation.
That's like, I was kind of hitting on it on one of our older episodes. Like you get into something prior to going to work. Just say that. You cannot take that out on coworkers. Now you mad and disgruntled. No, man, leave that at the door. You know what I'm saying? Package that. You know what I'm saying? It's the same kind of scenario in this sense.
That's real, man. I want to talk. I want to tie you right in on this Bootsy situation. I want you to start it off, man, because you brought it to my attention.
And that's where this topic come from. Situation.
You was inspired by to come up with this by his situation. I want you to speak a little bit on it and then speak on your feelings towards it.
So basically Bootsy and his child's mother got into it. He had them bought his daughter an expensive car, but later on the mother put him on child support. He took the car back from the child, from the mother put him on child support. And I just said I didn't agree with that. Because it's one thing if the child was being disrespectful or irresponsible with the car or letting somebody drive it, not doing what she's supposed to do in school or all those things, not because the mother of the child put you on child support. That has nothing to do with the child. You understand what I'm saying? I know it's a deeper thing with that relationship, but again, still, the factuals is you bought the car for your daughter. Why punish her because of the thing, the disagreement basically you have with the mother? Yes, it was an expensive car. It was expensive whether you're on child support, whatever. Why would not buy a Toyota or a Honda? I'm not trying to tell you really what to do with your child, but definitely you can't punish the child and take the car back. I would never do that. As many spats as me and my baby mama had, I will never, ever, ever punish my child for I won't even say sins of the mother, but I would never punish my child because me and their parent is at odds.
Yeah, before I get my take on it, because I agree with you, but before I get my take on it, because I didn't really did he go and what was his reasoning? Although I don't see it the way he probably said it, but
his reasons
I'm just
was
interested on
because he said that he said his daughter knew that this was taking place, that her mother was finna put him on child support.
The daughter is 18?
The daughter, I think 16. I think he bought the car for her 16th birthday, if I'm not mistaken. But later on, he said the daughter ended up knowing about the situation, knowing that the mother was putting him on child support. So the mother was kind of sickly, so she drove or was going to take care of her mother. He didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? So he felt like they plotted together. Or he felt like his daughter should have told him, hey, mom finna get ready to put you on child support. And then there it is again. He's forcing the child to pick sides.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing to do with what my mom does. You know what I'm saying? But again, that goes deeper because he's saying that the child had another man's name when she was born, and he had to change and fight to change her name to his. But you did that. You cannot go back in the past. You cannot go. If you didn't want to take responsible for this child, then you should have left it however it was gonna be then. But since you did, you can no longer go back on, when she was born, she had another man's name, and now you're being petty. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's
interesting.
It's crazy, man.
Because, not to stay on the Bootsy thing too long, just in general in life, I just think, and I always just got to go back to me because everybody's different, man. Even whether I agree with them or not, everybody's different, and it may be other things that I don't know. Not to say that it makes an excuse, but I don't know the whole story of that. But for me, I separate my feelings, how I feel towards my child versus how I feel about adults.
Yeah.
And that's just me. And to elaborate on it more is because at the end of the day, that's my baby. I may not agree. I may hurt because you have every right to hurt. You have every right, no matter how young or how old your daughter or your son get. You have every right to feel however you feel, but the way you handle it, the way you react.
Yeah.
Me, I react differently to it. Man, there's times when I felt certain ways, me being a father. There's times when I felt like, man, what I do for you, but
that's what it boils down to.
I can't approach it for the life of me. I can't approach it the same way I would approach it if I felt like Mr. So-and-so or Sister So-and-so did something and I feel like you had something to do with it. Okay, let's say I felt like my daughter had something to do with stuff like that. Again, how I feel, nobody can't tell me how to feel.
Yeah.
But how I handle things is so important to me to be that father, to be like, you know what? It's like the Jordan effect. When people used to do things to Jordan and every little thing he used as motivation, and it's like he go and drop 50 and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I take that in life. I take that in life where it's like, okay, as a father, all right, I needed that. Mm-hmm. I needed you to do that. Now for to be the best father, you're going to be confused.
And again, man, I feel like this.
I felt that.
And I'm a Bootsy fan, and like you said, we're not going to stand on him too long. I'm a Bootsy fan, like I think, from that standpoint, but I'm still a parent and I'm for what's right. Mm-hmm. To me, you're making your daughter choose. That is wrong. Mm-hmm. You making her feel like she cannot have a relationship with her mother, or it's going to be consequences she has to pay for because you and the mom is at odds. And that's just not cool. You cannot use these kids as pawns to try to hurt each other. And like at the end of the day, no matter how you feel about her mother or no matter how her mother feel about you, you are her dad. That is her mother. You cannot force that person not to have a relationship. And at the end of the day, like I say, the car was like $80,000. Yes, you was going to get bounced on the head or for child support, whatever it may be. But that's still no right. You done gave this girl. That's in life as an adult. I wouldn't give you, Arthur, something and then try to take it back from you because I'm mad at you.
Right.
So this is a kid. So understand, I don't agree how she even spazzed out on him on social media. But at the end of the day, that's called giving. We learned this Indian giving. Don't give me nothing. If you feel like you got to take it back, please keep it. Yeah. Please keep it. I preach that. I don't care what it is. That's just me.
Yeah, I want to get right into the taking things out on your adult sons and daughters. Mm-hmm. I think this is so important because it's so often, like we talking about kids, but when you become an adult and you mad at same situation, but you taking it out. We're still talking about taking it out on a son or your daughter, even though they grown. You taking it out on them, but you mad at the mother or you mad at the father. How do you feel about that?
Again, it's the same scenario go. Even though they're adult now, it's the same scenario. You cannot take nothing out on a child or adult. At the end of the day, I don't care how old they get. They still your child, period. So they could be an adult child. You still can't take that out on them. But at this time now, you definitely have to be, that's a grown man or a grown woman. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They have that authority now to be like, Dad, out of respect, I'm not going to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? You're not dealing with a kid that feel like he got to be around you. And you, I mean, keep on going the way you're going. And that adult child, will push you away. Now you're growing old by yourself or whatever but it's nothing like having a child that respects you and want to be there as you get older in life. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
and I think this right here, it really step on some toes in life, because as kids, it's real easy for people to be like, yeah, you right,
Mm-hmm.
because you think kids and people get sensitive when it comes down to kids. But as adults, we lose that same mindset of like, this is, no matter how old my daughter get, I still think about the times from the moment she was born, from the moment of her being, whenever she's an adult. It's like, it's still a certain kind of treatment or a certain kind of love that you just have that's different from everybody else.
It is.
It's just different. It is what it is. So it's like a lot of things that I would really, really react to a different way, I can't do that to my child, because that's still my daughter, or that person who has a son, that's still your son. So it's like, you're adult, you feel how you feel, you can have an adult conversation in a way where they probably didn't understand when they was a kid. Now you can have an adult conversation without the drama or without the attitudes or without the anger and the arguing and the cussing and the fussing. Without all that, they're adult now. I've had adult conversations with my mom we laugh about it, because she like, I had to realize that you really adult, because I was always respectful, but she's so used to when I was a kid, once they said things, you almost just didn't respond at all, even if they was wrong. But being an adult, it's not like that. And she respect that, the fact that, okay, hey, now he can really give his point of view, and he's still being respectful. But I got to respect the fact that, hey, I can't tell him not to give his point of view, especially if he's being respectful, because he's not a child no more. But the fact is, she's never treated me in a way where I felt like she was taking things out on me because of her disagreement. So it's so important that I agree with you, man. Just because you're an adult, why does it change on as far as taking it out on them?
Even as like you said, if the parents is in the household, they're sponging, or even as an adult, everything you're doing, these kids and these young adults are watching. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be in the mind frame of, man, are we arguing a little too much in front of this child? Because guaranteed they gonna pick up those same traits, and that's real just dysfunctional. So at the same time, like you got to respect your adult kid, and just as you want respect, you got to give it to. So
right, man. It's so important to not take things out on your adult kids, or because it's they look up to you and they gonna mimic everything you do, and then at the end of the day, you are the ones that all they got when it come down to it. No matter what, you are the ones that they go to even when they go astray. You are the one that they lean on. So, they're gonna come a time where you're gonna need them to lean on when you get old.
Exactly.
Let that breathe. So,
roles reverse.
Yep.
I want my kids, even though I'm married and whatever, I still will want my kids to be able to come check on me when I'm old and I cannot do exactly just how I had to do when they was born.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just the circle of life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So,
man, I want to get right into this next point. Bringing things to social media about your child. That's crazy to me, man. Like, we talked about, just bringing things to, and I'm gonna tie you right in on this, in general. But the fact of people would get on and spaz out about their child, again, that's ludicrous to me.
Yep.
That's insane to me, man.
Or the child spaz not like. Romeo, Romeo, you seen all that stuff unfold with Master P and Romeo. That's an adult child now.
Yeah,
you seeing Kurt Franklin and his son.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like these, it never helped. I don't think the social media it made it hard for them to forgive each other and move forward, because now you open it up for in-house family stuff to the social media for everybody to have an opinion or some business they shouldn't know about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's why if you haven't checked out the episode of that we did, what was the episode with the what was the episode? or I'm tired of sweeping things under the rug, I want y'all to check that
okay.
episode because we say something in there, somewhere in the episode where we said about it's a time to speak and it's a time not to.
Yeah.
And the reason why I said it, not to tie into that because we on a different thing, because there are certain situations that the world need to hear things that has been done wrong to a person. There are certain things, but there are also things where you need to know that just wasn't uncalled for to just.
Speaking of kids, and my daughter calling me right now.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
funny.
yeah. She's like, y'all need to hurry up and wrap this up. You need to wrap this up. No, but there's certain times that, but y'all check it out. Y'all see what I mean on that. But I want to stick on this, the child on. Listen, man, that to me, it's a lot worse when you do it with your child because number one, they're kids. They're kids, even as an adult, but they're your kids. Like to me, I just see it. Even though the respect need to be for your parents, I always look at I take the higher road being the parent and older. Like I'm gonna always think. To me, I'm gonna think more mature than my daughter. You know, even if she was to get on and spaz out on me on social media, I wouldn't get back on and do that to her. You know, I can't say that about regular people. I can say that for the most part, I'm mature on not doing stuff to social media, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm still praying on that right there. But my child, I can't imagine doing that because no matter what she say, that's still my child. Yeah. No matter how old she get, that's still my child. And I can't for the life of me. Everybody do what else they want to do, but for the life of me, you know, I can't do that. That my child is just different with a mindset that I have on it. So it's just one of those things that I feel like, you know, we have to really have that separation of your daughter, your son. This is just what it is. They're your daughter, they're your son. No matter how old they are, we got to have that separation of the way we handle things. I mean, we should be better people in life in general, but definitely when it come down to your kids, and definitely when they're young like that, man. You know, there's certain ways that you should handle them that you don't handle, you know, differently that you handle them from, you know, the world or people that's adult. Like if I get into it with somebody that's an adult, that's gonna be way different, and I would get into it with my daughter or have a disagreement or get on to her. And so I don't understand why people they'll tell this, and I'm gonna tell you right back in this for rapper. They'll tell the child to stay in the child's place, but you will brain them on a adult level when you blaming them or you putting you know what I'm saying, you putting you taking it out on them. So how you gonna tell them to stay in the child's place, but you gonna bring them to an adult level? Yeah, I want to tie you right in on that one.
Man, hey man, and that's because people tend, even if a person does that on social media and bring a child in it, they've been doing that. You know what I'm saying? They've been having conversations as their kid was their friend.
Let that breathe.
Instead of their damn child. You know what I'm saying? Because I see that more and more. I come from that age of shut the hell up. Get out of grown folks' business. Now these days, these kids have full-blown conversations with adults like, man, go sit over there. Don't you see these grown folks talking? So that's been going on. But the one thing I would say, man, I think some things do need to be addressed, but I don't feel like family business, especially when it comes to something like that, should be on social media. In a negative light. Now, if something happens to you that you need to speak on, whereas, you know, first talk to somebody on, say, if somebody was violating you as a child or whatever, but talk to somebody first, and then you can address it. But for as simple stuff or argument that's going on in the household, why is this on? Now it's making it hard for us to me to even trust you. Like I don't want, because your attention, you're seeking attention to me. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like to go back on the boots thing just shortly. We wouldn't have known about his.
Just go ahead and admit it. You want to talk about
I
Boosie.
do.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
We wouldn't have even known that this child didn't even have your last name when she was born. We wouldn't have known that this was another. All this stuff is stuff we shouldn't even known about. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, what's the point?
I agree with you on that one, because there's certain things that you just gotta, be mature enough to know that it's just it served no purpose to even be addressing certain things, you know, and that's petty. Like
this joker took his car back, $80,000 Mercedes Benz.
It's a lot of guys that agree with him because he bootsy. Let that breathe.
Child support.
A lot of guys will
not putting you on child support.
A lot of guys will. I'm telling you, it goes back to what we always said, even in the other episode. People, when you are popular, when you are liked, people agree with you.
I like them.
But see, you got sense.
But, sure.
Let that breathe.
Wrong is wrong.
You intelligent.
In my opinion, I feel
you know,
like
you got
wrong.
morals. You're not gonna go along just to get along game.
Yeah.
You gonna have standards and look at no matter who it is.
And I think it's coming from a street point. Like, oh, you finna take this from me and I'm doing this for you. It's about money, man. It ain't even about the relationship at this point.
Right.
It's about the money.
Yeah.
It's not a street child. This is your daughter.
And I promise I'm not trying to judge Bootsy at all. I'm not when I'm about to say what I'm about to say. But bruh, nobody put a gun in your head and made you have all those kids.
You feel me?
I'm going to just let that sit for the two people in the back that didn't catch that. So I'm not judging you at all, but man, we got to be men and understand that, you know, accountability is accountability. When you get yourself in certain situations, you got to know what come with it. Mm-hmm. It's just like anything you do in life. You got to know what come with it and be willing to stand on and accept it.
And understand this. I hate that families is falling out. So I'm not condoning the Bootsy situation. I'm not condoning the young lady speaking out. I think that was so messed up the way she spoke on her father, like cussing him out and all that stuff. You don't, it says that in the Bible, don't disrespect your parents. But you know, at the same time, I hate that families with the Millers, with Kurt Franklin, his family. You hear these stories about these families, it's disheartening. Yeah. So we're coming from that aspect. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to see anybody beefing with their family. I don't care if it's a celebrity. I don't care if it's Joe Blow that I know. I don't want to see that stuff, man. Life is too short. Yeah. For one, people is getting taken out by the daily, and it's just too short to be going through spats over people you claim you love unconditional. And I also seem like that love came with conditions with that Boots and his daughter situation.
That's real. And also, before we wrap it up, I want to say to the parents, stop doing things and taking advantage of the fact that what he just said, as far as not coming on social media, not, keeping things in, because we know the old saying, keep things in the in-house and stuff like that. Stop taking advantage of that saying and feel like you can do any and everything to your kids, whether they're adults or whether they're kids. Yeah. Because you owe it to them to not do things, because then when they say things or when they do things, and I don't condone anybody being disrespectful, but let me talk about the adult kids real quick. Mm-hmm. When you do things and then you still want that same respect as you asked for when they was little, you got to understand that give you no right to do things that you shouldn't do to your kids, whether they're adults or whether they're kids. A child stay in a child place. And also, a parent stay in the parent place. This goes for us, all of us. Me, my brother, all of us. So a child stay in the child place and a parent stay in the parent place. Let's not forget that.
That's right.
So I can go on and on and on this, man. But, man, we just want y'all to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, share, comment. Please comment and please share, man. We trying to grow. We trying to just grow so we can give y'all more and more. We have guests that we've been talking to.
That's on the way. So
it's on the way. Sir. Y'all be patient with that, because we're gonna have different people that we're gonna come on. We're gonna have different people that's gonna call in. And we just wanna we wanna eventually. So stay tuned with us. You'll see in the description to follow us on other social media platforms, so you'll know what we're doing behind the scenes. And we also want to go live in front of the audience and do a podcast. We want to get into doing that. It's different things that we want to do. And if you have any questions, hit us up in the comments. Follow us on social media, Instagram. It'll be in the description. We want to thank y'all for tuning in. I'm Arthur J.
And I'm Torrie.
And like we always say, peace.
Be safe, y'all.